wait for the pinata explosion to calm down here for a moment. So how's everybody doing? You having a good time so far? Yes? Good energy? Learning something? Good. So let's see what we can discover together along this journey that I have. So in 1841, George Ohm discovered the resistance for electricity as electrical current flows through a wire. Today, our electrician brethren use this knowledge to wire our homes, but to also exercise an enlightened viewpoint about what's known as Ohm's law, which is resistance as electricity goes through a wire. They use this to wire our homes, but also to exercise an enlightened state about resistance. This enlightened state can be easily achieved if we chant George's last name, the namesake of the law. Would you like to try this together? So chant it with me. Om. 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 Are you getting anything? Feeling it? Maybe. On a more serious note, if we drop the letter H in the word Om, it moves from Eastern spiritual text to it moves from a law of resistance to Eastern spiritual text, which reminds of a ultimate reality, a universe, a truth. Like Ohm's law, many of us feel some internal resistance when we're looking for this truth. When we search inside, we hear a voice in our head that sounds something like, "Don't tell him." That's resistance coming up, right? My voice apparently has Indian origins. Go figure. So where is this purpose? Is it in a bottle somewhere, hopefully to wash ashore? Is it tied up in our vocation? Least we trade our street clothes for orange loincloths. Most of us are looking for a purpose that's somehow functional in the flow of our lives. This notion of purpose chases us since we take our first breath. It gets caught up often in the graffiti of our domestication, that if we manage to somehow an overnight stay in success, our lives will be transformed. But purpose is not a noun or a verb, in my opinion. It might be more like a way of being, because it's not something that's crystallized in one moment forever. This internal resistance that we feel is our inner Joker. He's teamed up with the Riddler in a sick, twisted fashion to make this simple truth just as elusive as possible. For the most important question in the search for justice is when the inner villains ask the Caped Crusader, "Who are you?" In this case, it's not the Dark Knight. It is your greatness. Our purpose here is to experience our greatness. Now, there might be some confusion on how you're great. It's my hope today to clarify that and what might be standing in the way of your greatness. At the base of your brain is the reticular activating system, or RAS. It functions to filter all the data that is around us: sights, color, sound, smell. At any one moment, there can be 2 million bits of this data coming at us, but our brains can only process so much at one time. So RAS will only let in what it thinks is important, but how would it decide that? Like a Google Home, RAS is listening to all of your brain's self-talk. It's the focus of your thoughts that will guide RAS to show you things that provide the proof that your thoughts are true. Imagine telling a magician your card before he guesses it, which, by the way, now you have a belief, which fuels more self-talk that RAS will look for even more proof of. If you've ever shopped for a car, you've experienced that make, model, and color multiplying in the environment all around you, right? We've all experienced this before. That is RAS's handiwork. RAS is also very handy with self-talk like, "I'm late, I'm unorganized, and you know what? Bad things always happen to me." The implications here are huge. We are binge-watching House of Cards and not even realizing it. In a powerful way, the evidence that we seeks us in return. So, how do most of us do pain? Internally, we're like, "Don't hurt me," right? Pain takes us away from our greatness, and instead we feel like shit. But then, do shit greatly. Be truly shitty. I'm just saying. But the challenge is that when most of us do pain, we don't do it with a purpose, giving it our best. And when we do that, we store it. We store that pain. In brick and mortar, we add another layer of pain to our body. Pain done in your greatness, You experience it fully. You invite it to sit beside you as an equal partner, hold its hand, and do not pass judgment on it. For it's pain's job to shepherd the mind, body, and soul through this disruption back to your center of greatness. It's only when you catch this Cupid's arrow with your heart that pain cannot leave us. Do pain greatly. The theology of dreams is preached to children, but as adults, we come up agnostic. In my polling, hey, what are your dreams? Comes up short, replaced by a scarlet letter that covers the adult-rated parts of our hearts. Dreams are the kinetic energy that fuel the heart center. They help channel the love and the infinite potential that is all around us. When we live in a state of dreams, there's less conflict in us, and as a result, less conflict in our world. The Saharan state of no dreams leaves us in a tactile situation where we're completely dependent upon squirreling away external resources just to survive, rather than thriving on the limitless bounty that is within. Dreams are the playground of the higher self as they provide momentum for our greatness to show through. Culturally, we don't have good conventions for focusing on self. So what do? We focus on versions of self like self-loathing, self-hatred, self-pity, self-abuse, none of which are self-serving. Another way to serve yourself is to serve yourself by expressing your greatness through that service. But most of us struggle with this idea to bring what is wanted and needed to ourselves. So this idea of what is wanted and needed to bring to yourselves is a right to know what you need. That's the kind of personal investment that keeps you on this path to greatness. My version of the truth is that as we bring our needs into focus and authentically serve those needs, we nourish the greatest love of all, self. What I do not give myself cannot be given to me. The law of reciprocity is at play here. Our tribal challenge is nobody teaches us how to receive. And as a result, we cast the villain as self-serving and the protagonist as the giver. As director, yell, "Cut!" and ask for your superhero music to be played during the scene entitled, "I love and accept myself as I am." Possibilities can be broken down into two energetic categories, either yes or no. You see it on people's faces as they come up against change, big or small. They lean into life with no. My 2-year-olds, incidentally, are writing a field study on this topic. It's entitled, wait for the title, it's entitled, "No, because I say so." No is a false position of safety. It leads to mediocrity. We become jaded with our failure to launch greatness and abundance fueled by no. When your escape route is based in scarcity, there will never be enough escape velocity to manifest long-term change. Houston, we have a problem. Yes opens up possibility. Yes energetically attracts a platform for success. Our biggest potential for our greatness is when we are in a stretch, and yes is the bullseye that squarely puts us in that space. What I'm saying to you here, my friends, is that your data for your greatness is already here. You've been collecting it all along. They are your successes simply because it is your journey. But your reticular activating system is being led by your beliefs and choosing to what gets in. Others around you see and testify to your heroics, but you don't believe it and you don't believe me. Most adults, try giving them a compliment. It's most often shunned in 3 phases. Notice the spelling here, shunned. Deflect, shun. Reject, shun. And qualificate, shun. Want an example? Watch. Hey, it was amazing what you said right there. Well, I got lucky. Sun's got to shine on a dog's ass someday. And to this I say, really? Really? This is in spite of the fact that we coach our children to receive praise with the reflexive, "What do you say?" Monitor this behavior for a couple weeks. Findings here might be shocking. I'm here today to say that there is a better way to live. To make our world better, our answer is to fight. The war on crime, the war on poverty, the war on drugs. But that's not how we're inspired. Pick up any children's book and you're not going to find a tale of woe trying to motivate the masses. Our greatness helps us focus on what we need from within and moves us through pain. A society focused on greatness would release conflict in a way that would serve a much more peaceful world. In your greatness, you're not constantly focusing on strategy, tactics, and posturing for situations to work out. You can simply just do the next moment. You trade your inner critic for an inner coach and release your need to profess or be validated. You work from inspiration with the game won before you've begun. Look, I know you are great. I know you are great beyond measure. But see, I don't have another choice because I see us as connective and reflective. I experience my greatness every day, and I know that that's just a reflection of you. Your challenge is to play the game like your hair is on fire, knowing that the final score, it says nothing of your worth. The way to rig the game is to experience your greatness in everything you do. Our purpose gets lost when we resist possibility and pain, when we lose our sense of self and our dreams. It leads our brain to no labels, no worries, no judgment, and no limits. However, a life led purposely from greatness sheds labels, frees worries, suspends judgment, and becomes absolutely limitless. My friends, you are here on this journey to simply experience what has already been given to you. Greatness. Thank you.